Judge not, that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye mete, it shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, Let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye? Almost everyone has a tendency to gossip, to criticize and judge others. We relish gossiping and criticizing others because it swells our own sense of ego. Behind our criticism is the feeling, I don't have this weakness. I am greater than they are. Usually the weaknesses we seem to see in another person exist only in our own impure imagination. How many of us can really look into the depths of another human being and see all the motives which are prompting him to act in a particular way? Yet we are eager to judge and impute motives, evil motives. Gossip may seem very innocent, yet it causes immense harm in human society, and particularly to those who indulge in it. Those who dwell on the faults of others develop the same faults themselves. For in the mind of every individual, both good and bad impressions and tendencies are stored up. And if you criticize another person for a certain fault, and go on criticizing, similar tendencies which were dormant in your own subconscious mind are released and become active. If, on the other hand, you make a habit of seeing the good in others, your own good tendencies are released and strengthened. So, for his own sake as well as for the sake of others, the spiritual seeker must not criticize, gossip, or judge. If you want peace of mind, do not find fault with others, taught Sri Sarada Devi, a great woman saint of Bengal. Learn to make the whole world your own. No one is a stranger. This whole world is yours. In India, we have a saying that the fly sits on the filth as well as on the honey, but that the bee seeks only the honey and avoids the filth. And so one of the first vows given to the religious aspirant is, May I follow the example of the bee, not that of the fly. As we progress in spiritual life, we learn to see the good in everyone. We learn to have love, sympathy, and compassion for all. Real holy men have that attitude towards mankind. If you have the least drop of goodness in you, they see an ocean of goodness within that drop, not because they are overly optimistic, but because they see the possibility of future growth, and they emphasize it. They know that through the grace of God a man may be freed in one moment from all sin and bondage. Swami Prabhavananda used to say, Heaps of cotton can be burnt with one matchstick. Similarly, one gracious glance from God can wipe out mountains of sins. The man who appears as a sinner today may be a saint tomorrow. Does this mean that we should be blind to one another's faults and never try to correct them? No, Jesus does not say that. But he says, Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then thou shalt see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. Jesus is asking us to correct our own defects before we try to correct our brothers. We are hypocrites as long as we rationalize our weaknesses and find them worthy of forgiveness, yet remain unwilling to bear with our brother's imperfections. When we have cast the beam out of our own eyes, when our hearts are purified and we really have love for mankind, then we can tell others where they fail, not with malicious relish, but with sympathy and compassion.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.